There's a vegetable sitting in your refrigerator right now that could trigger a stroke while you sleep tonight, and you have absolutely no idea it's there. I'm Dr. Michael Harris, and in my 25 years as a specialist in integrative health for seniors here in Boston, I've watched this silent killer fool thousands of well-meaning Americans over 60 who thought they were doing everything right for their health. Just last month, I had 3 different patients, Frank from Wisconsin, Margaret from Maine, and Dorothy from Texas, all rushed to emergency rooms with stroke-like symptoms that occurred in the middle of the night. What's terrifying is that each of these folks had been religiously following every piece of advice about aging healthily they could find, taking their medications exactly as prescribed, and eating what they believed were the healthiest foods possible for maintaining health in old age. Here's what's going to shock you to your core. The culprit wasn't some processed junk food or obvious health villain. It was vegetables that every health expert, every magazine, and every TV show has been telling you to eat more of for youthfulness in the elderly. These seemingly innocent foods have been hiding in plain sight, masquerading as your allies while systematically sabotaging your circulation, interfering with your medications, and setting you up for the exact health crises they're supposed to prevent. The most insidious part: the damage happens gradually, silently, while you're sleeping, which is why most people never connect the dots between their healthy dinner and waking up unable to speak clearly or move their arms. What I'm about to share with you goes against everything you've been taught about nutrition for the elderly, but it could literally save your life tonight. As someone who's dedicated my career to helping seniors maintain autonomy as an elderly person and support their immune system in old age, I discovered that timing isn't just important when it comes to medication. It's everything when it comes to food. The same vegetable that might benefit you at lunch could become a weapon against your health when consumed at dinner, especially if you're taking common medications like calcium supplements, vitamin D, or blood thinners that most folks over 65 rely on daily. Over the next few minutes, I'm going to reveal the 5 most dangerous foods that millions of health-conscious seniors consume every evening, believing they're making the smartest choices for how to be a healthy elderly person. I'll share the real stories of my patients who nearly lost their lives to these superfoods, explain exactly why these combinations are so deadly, and most importantly, show you simple timing adjustments that can keep you safe without giving up the foods you love. This isn't about fear-mongering, it's about giving you the truth that could prevent you from becoming another statistic. But first, let me warn you, what you're about to learn will make you question everything you thought you knew about healthy eating after 60. Some of these revelations might make you angry at the health industry that's been spreading this dangerous misinformation, and others might make you realize that you or someone you love has been playing Russian roulette with their health every single night. Are you ready to discover which innocent-looking vegetable in your kitchen could be plotting against your brain while you sleep? You know, there's something I've got to tell you that might shock you to your core. I'm Dr. Michael Harris, and I've been specializing in integrative health for seniors for over 25 years here in Boston, Massachusetts. Last month, I had a patient, let's call him Frank from Wisconsin, who came to my office completely devastated. This 68-year-old gentleman had been religiously eating his spinach salads every single night, believing he was doing everything right for aging healthily. Frank would tell me, "Doc, I just wanted to do the right thing for my health." What happened next will make you question everything you thought you knew about maintaining health in old age. Frank's wife, Margaret, found him one Tuesday morning unable to speak clearly, his left arm completely limp. The paramedics rushed him to Massachusetts General Hospital, and the diagnosis was devastating, a stroke that occurred while he slept. Now here's the kicker that'll blow your mind. The very spinach Frank thought was keeping him healthy was actually setting him up for this nightmare. You see, spinach is loaded with something called oxalates, and when consumed at night by someone taking calcium supplements or vitamin D, which most folks over 60 do for maintaining their immune system in old age, it creates a perfect storm in your bloodstream. The oxalates in spinach bind with calcium in your system, creating these tiny crystals that can interfere with your blood's natural clotting mechanisms. Picture this: you're sleeping peacefully, thinking you've nourished your body with healthy greens, but those innocent-looking spinach leaves are actually working against your circulation. It's like having a traffic jam in your bloodstream while you're completely unaware. Frank had been taking his calcium supplement every evening with dinner, then eating his healthy spinach salad right after. This combination was quietly sabotaging his cardiovascular health, threatening his ability to maintain autonomy as an elderly person. This isn't some rare occurrence I'm talking about. I've seen this pattern repeat itself across my practice from Maine to Florida. The nutrition advice we've been fed about youthfulness in the elderly often overlooks these dangerous interactions. Sarah from Vermont, a 72-year-old retired teacher, experienced the same thing. She'd been following every piece of advice about nutrition for the elderly she could find, including those nightly spinach smoothies she made with her calcium-fortified almond milk. What these well-meaning folks don't realize is that timing matters just as much as the food itself when it comes to how to be a healthy, elderly person. The scariest part: Frank's story could be yours tomorrow night if you're making the same mistake. Every time you combine that evening spinach with your calcium routine, you're playing Russian roulette with your circulation. But here's what's even more disturbing, and this might keep you up tonight thinking about it. Spinach isn't the only green vegetable that's been hiding in plain sight, masquerading as your friend while potentially plotting against your health. There's another common vegetable, one that's probably sitting in your refrigerator right now, that could be even more dangerous for folks taking certain medications. Now, if that spinach revelation shook you, wait until you hear about what happened to one of my most diligent patients last winter. Bernadette, a lovely 74-year-old from Ohio, was the poster child for healthy aging. She took her prescribed warfarin religiously after her heart surgery, walked 3 miles every morning, and never missed her evening broccoli. This dear woman had been told by every health magazine and TV show that broccoli was the ultimate superfood for maintaining health in old age. She'd steam a full cup every night with her dinner, proud that she was doing everything right for aging healthily. What Bernadette didn't know was that she was unknowingly sabotaging her life-saving medication every single evening. Here's the dangerous truth they don't tell you about broccoli and blood thinners. Broccoli is absolutely loaded with vitamin K, and vitamin K is like kryptonite to anticoagulant medications. Think of it this way: your blood thinner is working overtime to keep your blood flowing smoothly, preventing dangerous clots that could cause strokes or heart attacks. But then along comes that healthy broccoli, pumping vitamin K into your system like a fire hose, completely counteracting your medication's protective effects. It's like having a bodyguard trying to protect you, while someone else is systematically removing all the security measures. The immune system in old age becomes more vulnerable, and when your medication stops working properly, you're essentially defenseless. Bernadette discovered this the hard way when her routine blood work showed her INR levels were dangerously off. Her cardiologist was baffled. She was taking her warfarin exactly as prescribed, so why wasn't it working? That's when I started digging deeper into her daily routine and discovered her nightly broccoli ritual. She was consuming nearly 200% of her daily vitamin K needs every single evening, completely nullifying her blood thinner's effectiveness. For someone focused on how to be a healthy, elderly person, this felt like the ultimate betrayal. The very food she thought was protecting her was actually putting her at risk for the exact problems her medication was meant to prevent. The tragedy is that Bernadette represents thousands of well-meaning seniors across America who've been fed this narrative that more vegetables automatically equals better health. From California to New York, I've consulted with patients making this exact same mistake. Dorothy from Texas, another warfarin patient, was eating broccoli soup every night thinking she was boosting her nutrition for the elderly. What these folks don't realize is that consistency matters more than quantity when you're on blood thinners. If you're going to eat vitamin K-rich foods, you need to eat the same amount every day, so your doctor can adjust your medication accordingly. The problem is, most people don't even know they're playing with fire. But here's where this story takes an even more sinister turn, and I want you to pay close attention because this could save your life tonight. While we've been focused on these obvious green vegetables, there's something else lurking in your kitchen that's even more deceptive. It looks innocent, it's in practically every American household, and most people consume it daily without a second thought. This particular food doesn't just interfere with medications, it actually mimics the symptoms of dehydration so perfectly that it can trigger what looks exactly like a stroke, leaving doctors scrambling to figure out what's really happening to you. Let me tell you about Don Leon, a 71-year-old retired mechanic from Arizona who nearly broke my heart with his story. This gentleman was doing everything by the book for youthfulness in the elderly. He ate light dinners, avoided heavy foods at night, and religiously munched on romaine lettuce salads every evening because his late wife had always told him it was the perfect, light and healthy choice before bed. Don would sit in his Phoenix kitchen every night around 8 p.m., eating his Caesar salad made with crisp romaine lettuce, thinking he was making the smartest choice for aging healthily. What Don didn't realize was that this innocent-looking lettuce was slowly stealing the water from his brain while he slept, setting him up for a catastrophic morning that would change his life forever. Here's the terrifying truth about romaine lettuce that nobody talks about. It's one of nature's most powerful natural diuretics. When you eat romaine lettuce in the evening, especially in larger quantities like most people do with salads, it triggers your kidneys to work overtime throughout the night. Picture your body like a well-oiled machine that's supposed to maintain perfect hydration while you sleep, allowing your brain to repair and restore itself. But romaine lettuce throws a wrench into this delicate process, causing you to lose precious fluids when your body should be conserving them. For seniors focused on maintaining health in old age, this nighttime dehydration is like playing Russian roulette with your brain's blood supply. The morning that changed everything for Don started like any other Tuesday. He woke up feeling slightly dizzy, which he brushed off as just getting older, but within minutes, his speech became slurred and his right leg felt weak. His neighbor Maria found him collapsed in his hallway and called 911 immediately. The paramedics rushed him to Banner Desert Medical Center, where the ER doctors ran every stroke test imaginable. Here's the kicker: all his scans came back normal, but his symptoms were textbook stroke indicators. What the medical team discovered was severe dehydration that had concentrated his blood to dangerous levels, mimicking a stroke perfectly. The culprit? Those nightly romaine lettuce salads had been systematically dehydrating him for months, and his immunity in the elderly couldn't keep up with the constant fluid loss. The most insidious part of this story is how subtle the progression was. Don had been experiencing what he thought were normal signs of aging: occasional dizziness, mild confusion in the mornings, and feeling unusually tired. These were actually early warning signs that his brain wasn't getting adequate hydration during the night. As we age, our bodies naturally hold less water, and our kidneys don't regulate fluids as efficiently. When you add a powerful diuretic like romaine lettuce to the evening routine, you're essentially asking your already stressed system to work double time when it should be resting. The nutrition for the elderly guidelines rarely mention these timing considerations, leaving people like Don vulnerable to this hidden danger. Don's story had a happy ending. Once we eliminated his evening romaine lettuce routine and adjusted his hydration strategy, his stroke-like episodes completely disappeared. But here's what's keeping me up at night, and it should terrify you too. Romaine lettuce isn't the only common food that's masquerading as healthy while potentially threatening your life. There's something sitting in your spice rack right now, something that millions of health-conscious seniors take daily believing it's protecting their hearts, but it could actually be turning their blood into a ticking time bomb. This natural remedy is so popular that your neighbor probably swears by it, but what they don't know could literally kill them. Now, I need to share with you one of the most heartbreaking cases I've encountered in my 25 years of practice. Robert, a 69-year-old retired teacher from Michigan, was the epitome of someone committed to aging healthily through natural means. After reading countless articles about how to be a healthy elderly person, Robert had become convinced that garlic was nature's perfect medicine for maintaining health in old age. Every morning, he'd take his prescribed aspirin for heart protection, and every evening, he consumed fresh garlic cloves, garlic supplements, and garlic-infused olive oil, believing he was giving his immune system in old age the ultimate boost. Robert would tell anyone who'd listen, "I just want to do right by my body and naturally." What he didn't know was that his well-intentioned garlic routine was about to put him in the fight of his life. The dangerous reality about garlic is that it's one of nature's most powerful blood thinners, and when combined with even low-dose aspirin, which most seniors take daily, it creates a perfect storm in your bloodstream. Think of your blood's clotting ability like a finely tuned orchestra. Your aspirin is already telling the violins to play softer, reducing your blood's ability to clot just enough to prevent heart attacks. But then garlic comes in like a conductor gone mad, telling every instrument to play as quietly as possible. Suddenly, your blood becomes so thin that even minor bumps or cuts become life-threatening situations. For someone focused on youthfulness in the elderly, this combination can quickly turn from protective to deadly. Robert discovered this terrifying truth on a seemingly ordinary Thursday morning while tending to his garden in Grand Rapids. He accidentally cut his finger on a rose thorn, the kind of minor injury that normally requires nothing more than a Band-Aid. But within minutes, Robert was watching in horror as blood poured from this tiny wound with no signs of stopping. His wife, Helen, rushed him to Spectrum Health, where emergency room doctors struggled for over an hour to get the bleeding under control. The medical team was baffled until they discovered Robert's garlic regimen, combined with his daily aspirin, had reduced his blood's clotting ability to dangerously low levels. What should have been a 5-minute inconvenience became a life-threatening emergency that required multiple blood transfusions. The tragedy is that Robert represents millions of well-meaning seniors across America who've fallen for the natural is always safer myth. From Seattle to Miami, I've consulted with patients making this exact mistake, believing that because garlic grows in the ground, it can't possibly harm them. Martha from Oregon was taking garlic supplements while on Plavix after heart surgery, not realizing she was essentially doubling her blood-thinning medication. These folks don't understand that natural doesn't mean harmless. It means potent and unpredictable. When you're dealing with nutrition for the elderly, especially those on medications, natural remedies can be just as dangerous as prescription drugs, sometimes more so because they're unregulated and unpredictable in their potency. Robert's story eventually had a positive outcome. We carefully weaned him off his excessive garlic intake and adjusted his heart medication protocol. But his experience taught me something chilling about how even our most innocent food choices can become weapons against our health. There's one more food hiding in your kitchen right now that's perhaps the most deceptive of all. It's something you've probably eaten thousands of times, something that appears in soups, sauces, and salads across America every single day. This seemingly harmless ingredient doesn't just thin your blood or dehydrate you. It actually tricks your brain into thinking you're having a stroke when you're not, sending you to the emergency room in a panic, while the real danger continues to lurk undetected in your system. Let me tell you about Stella, a vibrant 67-year-old from North Carolina who nearly drove herself insane with worry over what she thought were recurring mini-strokes. This remarkable woman had been a nurse for 40 years, so she knew the warning signs of stroke better than most doctors. Every few weeks, Stella would experience episodes where her speech would become slightly slurred, her vision would blur momentarily, and she'd feel a strange tingling in her left arm. As someone dedicated to maintaining health in old age, Stella would rush to the emergency room each time, terrified that her years of focusing on aging healthily were about to come to an abrupt end. The medical teams would run every test imaginable, CT scans, MRIs, blood work, and every single time the results came back completely normal. Stella was baffled, frustrated, and living in constant fear of when the next episode would strike. After months of medical mysteries and escalating anxiety, Stella came to see me for a second opinion. As we went through her daily routine in excruciating detail, one pattern emerged that made my blood run cold. Every single one of Stella's stroke-like episodes occurred within 2 to 4 hours after eating her beloved homemade tomato soup, which she'd been consuming religiously every evening for the past 2 years as part of her nutrition for the elderly regimen. Tomatoes contain high levels of natural compounds called glycoalkaloids, and when consumed in large quantities, especially concentrated forms like sauces and soups, these compounds can trigger neurological symptoms that mimic stroke warning signs perfectly. It's like your brain is receiving false alarm signals, causing very real and terrifying symptoms that can fool even experienced medical professionals. Here's where this gets absolutely terrifying. Tomatoes also contain natural histamines and tyramine, compounds that can affect blood flow to the brain in sensitive individuals, particularly those over 60. When Stella consumed her nightly tomato soup, these compounds were creating temporary changes in her brain's blood vessels, causing the exact symptoms she'd been experiencing. Think of it like a prank call to 911. The emergency response is real and immediate, but the actual emergency doesn't exist. For someone committed to how to be a healthy, elderly person, this was the ultimate betrayal. The very food she thought was providing antioxidants and supporting her immune system in old age was actually terrorizing her with fake stroke symptoms, causing months of unnecessary panic and medical expenses. The revelation was both relieving and horrifying for Stella. On one hand, she wasn't actually having strokes, which was incredible news. On the other hand, she'd been unknowingly poisoning herself with something she considered a healthy staple. We immediately eliminated tomatoes from her evening routine, and within 2 weeks, her episodes completely disappeared. But Stella's case opened my eyes to something much darker about our food system and the advice we give seniors about youthfulness in the elderly. How many other folks are out there, suffering from mysterious symptoms, running from doctor to doctor, spending thousands on medical tests, all because a healthy food is playing tricks on their aging nervous system? The most chilling part of Stella's story isn't just what happened to her. It's realizing how many other seemingly innocent foods in our daily diet could be causing similar problems. We've been conditioned to believe that if something is natural and traditionally considered healthy, it must be safe for everyone at any time of day and any quantity. But as I've shown you through these 5 cases, that's not just wrong, it's dangerously wrong. Right now, millions of seniors across America are unknowingly playing Russian roulette with their health every single meal. And the scariest part is that they have no idea the danger is coming from the very foods they trust most. Now, after hearing these 5 shocking stories, I have to ask you a critical question. Are you going to be another Frank, Bernadette, Dawn, Robert, or Stella? Are you going to continue eating these dangerous foods at the wrong times, playing Russian roulette with your health every single night? Or are you ready to take control and make the simple changes that could literally save your life? Listen, the choice is yours, but I'll tell you this every single day, you wait as another day you're rolling the dice with your circulation, your medications, and your brain's health. These aren't just statistics I'm sharing with you. These are real people whose lives were turned upside down by foods they trusted completely. Here's what keeps me up at night. Right now, as you're watching this, there are thousands of seniors across America making these exact same mistakes tonight. They're going to have their spinach salads with their calcium supplements, their broccoli while on blood thinners, their romaine lettuce before bed, their garlic with their aspirin, and their tomato soup thinking they're being healthy. But tomorrow morning, some of them won't wake up the same person they were when they went to sleep. Some will wake up unable to speak clearly, some won't be able to move their arms, and others will rush to emergency rooms thinking they're having strokes. The tragedy is that every single one of these situations could be prevented with the knowledge you now have. So here's my challenge to you. What are you going to do with this life-saving information? Are you going to share it with your spouse, your children, your neighbors who are also over 60? Are you going to call your doctor and discuss the timing of your food and medication combinations? Are you going to clean out your refrigerator tonight and start fresh tomorrow morning? The power to protect yourself and your loved ones is literally in your hands right now. You have the knowledge that could prevent a stroke, a medical emergency, or months of mysterious symptoms that baffle doctors. But knowledge without action is just entertainment, and your life is too precious to gamble with. Think about your children and grandchildren. They need you healthy, sharp, and independent for as long as possible. Think about all the things you still want to do, the places you want to visit, the memories you want to create. Every single night you continue these dangerous food combinations is a night you're risking all of that. But here's the beautiful part. The solution is simple. You don't have to give up these foods entirely. You just need to eat them at the right times and in the right combinations. It's that easy, but only if you take action tonight. If this video has opened your eyes to the hidden dangers lurking in your kitchen, I need you to do two things right now. First, hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell, because I'm going to continue sharing life-saving information that you won't hear anywhere else. Second, share this video with every person you care about who's over 60, because you might literally be saving their life. The health industry won't tell you these truths, but I will, and together we can make sure that no one else has to suffer like Frank, Bernadette, Dawn, Robert, or Stella. Your health is your greatest asset. Protect it like your life depends on it, because it absolutely does.